everyone, I just thought I would show you my process. I've had a lot of people asking me, well, a few, asking me if I would consider teaching workshops or how I do certain things. And I just thought that seeing as it's Christmas, I would make some pieces of art for my followers. They're going to be desktop wallpaper images for people who subscribe to my newsletter. And so I've made this little time lapse video, and I realised watching it back that it plays very fast, and so you may not be able to pick up a lot of what I'm doing here, but hopefully it will give you a little bit of a sense of my process. So I'm working on 2 sheets of A3 Canson artist quality watercolour paper. It's 300 DSM in weight, GSM. So it's a fairly thick watercolour paper, and I started with both of the pieces using water-based media like watercolour, also some splashy acrylic ink and some Inktense pencils, which I really like, and I like using them wet, and you can also use them dry. So I started by putting just layers of intuitive marks on each piece. The video skipped a little bit there because it stopped recording and I didn't realise. But you can see that although the pieces started out very similar, they've taken quite different turns. So the one that's in front of you now is very bright at the moment. It gets a lot darker in colour later, but it stays very saturated, very colourful, very playful, and it will appeal to people who like that sort of art. As you can see, the other piece is a little bit softer and a little bit more based in the real world. Although they're both representational pieces, they're also fairly abstract. So this was towards the end of the piece where I taped them down and started working on them a little bit more seriously. This sketch is from life. I had some beautiful bottle brush flowers. If you're not familiar with what that is, you can have a little Google and see. It's an Australian native flower. It's very red and it's in full bloom this time of year, just in time for Christmas. So our Aussie Christmases are hot. We have backyard barbecues, we have time at the beach, by the pool, and so this piece was very much inspired by the Australian native bush and backyard barbecues, stripy beach towels, and a bit of surf. So this is my Aussie Christmas, this piece. The other one is a little bit more traditional, if you like, and I ended up calling it Silent Night. So it's 2 versions of Christmas. I've worked in all sorts of other media on top of the initial watercolour layers. So I've come back in with charcoal, with Posca pens, with gel pens, acrylic paint. You can see I'm smudging with my finger. And I use lots of different tools, not just paintbrushes, but an old mascara wand, plastic cutlery, forks. Picnic forks are great for making lines. That's how I made the stripes in that sort of red, violet form over on the left there. And the Posca pens, I've used thin and thick ones, all different sizes to make all different marks. So there I am writing the title on the work and rubbing it off because I didn't like how it looked. That's the great thing about working in water-based, I suppose any media, that you can wipe off and start again, or acrylics you can just go right on over the top. So here I am finishing off Silent Night. Just added in some trees there and played around. I've taken a fairly playful approach with these 2 pieces. I tried to make them fun. This was a little breakout project. I'm in the middle of working on an exhibition at the moment I'm trying to make about 30 paintings that are based on Bunbury, where I live in Western Australia, and they're much more natural in terms of their colour palette, but I've used a very intuitive approach in them to build up my textures and marks and just to add interest to the final image. So I'm always open to questions. I'm happy to be contacted if there's something that you want to know more about. Let me know if you found this video helpful in any way. And I hope that you will consider sharing my work with friends that you think might like it as well. One of the big challenges we have as artists is finding the audience for our work. I don't think that everyone needs to like what I do or think it's fantastic, but I want to make sure that the people who do like what I do get to know about it. Thanks. See ya.